The purpose of this video is to show you how to get a perfect stretch on your watercolour paper every time. What you need for this is your watercolour paper. This one's cut to half sheet size. A stretcher frame, and this is a half sheet stretcher frame you get from artiststretcherframes.com, some thumbtacks or a heavy duty stapler. Now when you put your frame on the piece of watercolour paper, you'll find that the margins are exactly the same all the way around the outside of the frame. Now to stretch this, what we're going to do is to put the watercolour sheet in a bath of cold water for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll come back. Now the idea is to get an even distribution of water over the paper, and the paper's got to be fairly drained of any free running water. Now in the corner you'll find a little watermark and a line there. Now that watermark tells you which side is up, so you want the uppermost side there, that's your painting side. I put the little mark there in case I cut the paper and I know which side is the right prime side. Now what we've waited for here is most of the shine to go off the paper. Now I can't give you a time for that because that depends on things like the temperature and humidity. But for today we left that run for about 20 minutes. What you're looking for is that pattern, when the shine just goes off the majority of the paper. Now this is a product from Artist Stretcher Frames, and you'll notice that there's little marks on the back of the frame there. Those V's are marking the dead center of each of the stretcher bars. And that's what we're going to use first to mount this paper on it. So what we're going to do now is we get the paper, making sure we don't put any creases in, and put it so it sits dead center, like that, equal overhang on all sides. Fold that over and we put a little thumbtack in there. And of course it always pays to make sure you've got all the things you need to hand, so you're not messing around trying to juggle things with wet paper. So we go straight opposite, and on the other V, pop that one in. It's made of the right timber, this, so you can easily put a thumbtack in. You don't have to pull it very tight, but just firmly will do. And you put the thumbtack in, see, just where the V is. Turn it around and do the same with the remaining side. There we go, just a thumbtack in there. Now you can continue on using thumbtacks, or you can use one of these, a heavy duty stapler. Now to speed it all up, I'll use the stapler. Now you'll notice the little lines there on the back of the frame. They are your tacking points. So Artist Stretcher Frames have made it very easy for you. Just pop it in and you go to the left or the right side. I'll pick the left because that's the way we're filming. And one of those goes on at each of those points. Now once we've got the 4 staples in, we just reverse it and tack them on the other side. Now we're now going to fix the corners. There's no tack mark because there's 2 ways of doing corners. We'll just pop that in on that side, and on this side now we fold that one in like that, and you simply just fold the corner over and tack. Now the other way of doing a corner would be to use the V method, in which case you just pull that back a little and then cut with a pair of scissors, and you just cut the corner off like that. So whichever method you use, and that's why there's no tacking point on the end there, that's the V method, and that is the fold over method. So now we've tacked all 4 corners, and what you'll notice even at this stage, and this is wet paper, it's almost dead flat, seamless, no cockles, no buckles, no ripples, and you notice how the staples are just sitting out a little, because when that dries we can do our work and then just easily unpick the staples with a screwdriver or pliers or whatever. So we fast forward now about an hour and a half. This is the same frame, and what you'll see is it is absolutely dead flat. There's not a ripple or a buckle in there anywhere, and it is completely drum tight.